Hi guys, this is Shannon at Skip to My Life. We're a group of women over 40, mainly empty nest moms. We hope you'll join us. Come on over to my blog at www.skiptomylife.com. Today we're talking about makeup tricks and tips to save money over 40. You know, looking fantastic does not have to be expensive. And so what I'm going to do today is show you some of my little tips and tricks, some of the inexpensive items that I love and that are my go-to items. And you'll also read in my blog a lot more information along with links to the things that I'm featuring today. So you may notice I'm not wearing my glasses today. We're talking about eye makeup, so I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. Can't see quite as well, but that will illustrate a lot of the points we're making because I know that several of you struggle with putting on makeup. I cannot wear contacts. I have to wear glasses, so some of you are in the same boat. So we're going to get through this together and hopefully you'll learn a few tips and tricks from me. So let's start with talking about eyebrows. As you'll read in my blog below, most of us as we age, our eyebrows are going to thin. For some people, you know, I used to think that's not a big deal, but eyebrows that are thinning can actually add a lot of age to our look. Now that doesn't mean we have to go with a real heavy brow. In fact, most of the time that's not appropriate, but I want to show you a little tip and trick that I use. This is a palette called LA Colors. It looks like this in the package. It's a 3-color eyeshadow palette, and the particular tint is Orchid. I will link to this below. It costs $1 at Dollar Tree, and this is the best thing I've found. I've used more expensive items, but I found that for me, my color of brow is a very light color, and I also do not like the painted on look. It just doesn't seem natural to me. So what I'll do is, this is the palette I use every day. I'll go with this medium color, and you know, this may not match your eyebrow shade, but you could probably, if you want something really subtle and really natural, you can find an eyeshadow color. Make sure it's in a matte shade, not a shiny or glossy or highlighty tint, and you can actually just fill in those eyebrows. Now, a lot of us aren't really sure how to draw on the brow to make it look natural. My little tip is that I will take this, it's called a spoolie tool, and I will link to one of these below. It's got one tip that's a chiseled in and then one tip that's a blending in, and I'll show you how I use that. So what I'll do is I'll put it right at the crease here of my brow, and then I'll just raise my eyebrow and then just come on over. Now I've already filled these in, so you don't probably see a huge difference, but that's how I get that line from looking funny. I'll just raise my eyebrow and follow it across that way. That's a little tip that I've kind of developed. Maybe somebody else has thought of it too. The most important part of this is going to be not just filling in the center, but taking it all the way out to that tail, because what we want to do is we want to frame those eyes gently, and then don't forget to blend. Okay, so that's what that spoolie's for. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of a comb type of a tool. I much prefer this little spoolie. It looks kind of like a pipe cleaner. It just adds a lot more natural look to your brow. Okay, so that's a little tip for drawing on eyebrows. I think this looks a lot more natural, at least in my case for my color, than a pencil that I would actually draw on. You may find something else that works better, but don't forget to look at eyeshadows instead of just pencils. And this is the one that I get from Dollar Tree, swear by it. I can't remember actually where I got this little spoolie, but I will link to one that I found on Poshmark, I believe it was, that is very inexpensive. Second thing I want to show you is my eyeliner. This again is from Dollar Tree, and I have tried a lot of different more expensive eyeliners. This one, mine is brown. Now that just looks better on my coloring and on my eyes. It looks more natural. It's a draw-in, not a liquid liner, and I've tried liquid liners. I find that as I get older, that color looks a little bit more harsh on me, and also it's more difficult for me to apply without my glasses and to see straight. For years, I really struggled with getting that eyeliner right next to my eye wall. I had a hard time because there would always be just this little white area along my lash line that looked funny, and it really bothered me. And it wasn't until I found a tutorial by Dominique Schaas, and I'm going to link to that, where she taught how she does her makeup. She's a newscaster, and so she does this all the time. That really started working for me. So instead of filling in the eyeliner from the top of the eye, she teaches to actually hold your eye and then go in from the bottom. And you'll see when you do that, first of all, a pencil's a lot more forgiving than a liquid liner. It looks a little bit more subtle and it can be smudged a little bit for more natural look, but also it just lends itself to getting right at that lash line, okay? So that's another little tip and trick for a $1. Actually, it's 50 cents because you get 2 in this pack. Mine's brown. I know that they sell black as well. This is a ColorMates brand. It does not have to be an expensive liner to look awesome. So I'm going to show you some things that I actually do spend a little bit more on. One of those is foundation, and these are linked below. I use Tarte Shape Tape. This is concealer, and then the Shape Tape Double Duty Beauty. This is a matte look, and I'll tell you why I like these. First of all, what I don't like is the applicator style. And I learned this from a few beauty experts. I am not a beauty expert. I am an amateur, just like many of you are. But the type of the applicator is really important, because if you think about it, you're touching this to your face, then you're putting it back in that tube. I've had this tube. I bought it in January. It was actually a Christmas gift. So that's a long time, and if you have a cold or your face isn't clean, you just have to be really careful. Probably the best way to do this is to put it on a clean surface and then dip your brush in it and apply it. I don't always do that. But this Shape Tape will cover those under eye circles with just a very little bit. And then my favorite tool, excuse me, for blending is this little brush. This is from Dollar Tree again. I will link to these. But this one just really gets in there right along that crease line, and it blends very nicely under the eye with the Shape Tape, okay? You can even go a little bit above if you want to define those brows a little bit more. Excuse me. Second thing I wanted to show you is this Milani blush, and I'm going to link to this as well. It's the color is Luminoso, and you'll see that I'm starting to get to the bottom of this stuff, but it has lasted me since, I think I got it in June, and it's end of October now, so that's a pretty good wear. This costs less than $10. It is a knockoff of a NARS brand. NARS is a really high-end makeup, but Luminoso is a color that's kind of universally flattering. So most women find that this color is flattering to their coloring, and especially as we get a little bit older, over 40, you don't want something that's a real bright shade. You don't want to have those clown circles on your cheeks. Just want to smile and get that top of that apple of the cheek. We lose a lot of the collagen in our face as we get older, so we do have to get that blush up just a little bit higher than we used to do. Okay, one last thing I'm going to show you, and that is my eyeshadow palette that I absolutely love. It's in LA Colors again. This one's from Dollar Tree as well. Again, I have used a lot of high-end brand of eyeshadows, and I love this one. The thing that I really like about Dollar Tree makeup is, especially if you are venturing out with makeup, maybe you have not worn a lot of makeup most of your life or for a long time, and you're trying to kind of up your game on that, or maybe you're switching jobs to something where you have to look a little bit more professional. This makeup is very low entry point. It's just $1. So if you hate it, you haven't lost anything. Also, I found that the Dollar Tree palettes are not quite as tinted as some of the others, and so if you want a little bit lighter, a little bit more layered look, you can put it on very lightly, or then you can go back over it and you can get a little bit more shading. So the way that I'll do this particular palette, whoops, there goes my brush, and I will link to these colors, is I'll go all over the lid with a very neutral color. It's kind of a peachy color. And that's with this brush. This is also from Dollar Tree, $1 for that. And then this is my favorite brush. It's a mermaid brush. You can see the end of it. It's really cute. I had to pick this up, but it turns out that it's the perfect shape for just this contour. So I'm going to go into the darker shade here with just a tiny touch. And you know, we used to go in those wells of the eyes when we were a little bit younger, but now that will actually age your eyes. So you're going to want to go to that orbital socket where you can feel the actual bone, that orbital bone that your eye sits in, and that's where you're going to want to focus that contour color. And you're going to make what's called a 7. So you're going up and then just a little 7 down to the corner on both eyes. And then the trick is to blend, blend, blend. So with a very full brush, not the one you have in this color, and I don't think I brought it down here with me, but with a very full brush, you can just blend that all through. Now, I've mentioned the brushes that I get from Dollar Tree, and the reason that I like them is because they are synthetic, they're natural, they're not natural hair. So they're not as high quality, but they are only $1. And you can get quite a variety here of sizes, even this one, which is a really nice foundation brush. What I like about these though is that it allows me to get a lot of brushes. So I try to wash my brushes very frequently, just in warm soapy water, to keep them clean and to keep them from forming any kind of dirt or bacteria and making my face break out. So for just $1, I can afford to get quite a few brushes and kind of keep the clean ones rotating in. So I hope that you found a few tips and tricks. If you want to know about this little cozy vest I'm wearing, it was $10. It was a Walmart find. I will link that to my Walmart fall haul. My sister calls this my Lammy vest, and she went out and got one too. She loved it. Maybe you guys have purchased them. They do come in different colors. If so, come on over to my Facebook group and show me what you got. I'd love to see it on you. These earrings also, these little medallion coins, are from Walmart. I believe they were under $5. Just purchased these and I love them. They're adorable. So that will do it for me today. I hope that you guys have learned some tips and tricks on makeup over 40 that's very inexpensive and that's going to stretch your dollar and up your look. Don't forget to make it a great day, and I'll see you later at skiptomylife.com.